Hi, I'm Garbu. Today I'll be covering a topic that is broad and controversial and messy and, well, covered too much already, in my opinion. The reason I'm making a video on this is to A. Educate people, and B. Make sure they are familiar with the concept I'll be explaining before I do a debunking of PragerU talking about this same topic. In the coming minutes, I'll be explaining socialism, what it is and what it is not. Socialism is generally defined as a socioeconomic system in which worker or communal ownership of the means of production is a dominant mode of production. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy defines socialism as, I quote, a type of society in which, at a minimum, the bulk of the means of production is under social democratic control. Before the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, communism and socialism were used interchangeably. There was a certain amount of distinction, notably that some people used socialism to refer to a society in which only the means of production were socially owned, whereas with communism, both the means of production and means of distribution were socially owned. In addition to this, social democratic parties across Europe often called themselves communist parties, and the term communist in America during the Cold War basically meant anyone sympathetic toward leftism or the Soviets. Because of this, and more, the terms socialism and communism are muddied and their definitions often seem contradictory. All that said, socialism has a generally accepted definition, which I outlined earlier in the video. Many leftists argue that socialism also necessitates social ownership over distribution, and other leftists disagree, notably market socialists. The one core part of socialism that defines it as a theory and practical societal organization is social ownership over the means of production. Now that you might understand the basic foundation of socialism, here are some examples of what socialism is not. First, nationalization. Engels actually explained why state ownership over productive property is not socialism. The transformation into state ownership does not do away with the capitalist nature of the productive forces. State ownership of the productive forces is not the solution of the conflict, he means class conflict, but concealed within it are the technical conditions that form the elements of that solution. Thanks, Engels. Another non-example of socialism is taxes and redistribution of wealth. This is one of the most common misconceptions and is often used by reactionaries during debates. For example, Steven Crowder, in one of his Change My Mind videos, in which he proposed that socialism is evil, he had someone on to debate him. Steven Crowder started off by using the correct definition of socialism, saying socialism is the communal ownership over productive forces. But he went on to conflate that with redistribution of wealth, saying it was immoral to take money out of someone's salary. This makes it extremely easy for conservatives to conflate socialism with big government and coercion, because by using taxes as an example of socialism, they can further the idea that the government extracting wealth or resources out of the population via coercive methods is socialistic. Now, there is a tiny ounce of truth in the idea that taxes and public programs are socialistic. This is because programs such as universal healthcare are technically a form of decommodification or communal ownership over distribution, because the government controls how to distribute a certain scarce resource, which is partially socialistic. That being said, taxes and redistribution of wealth are not examples of socialism. Finally, I will talk about the myth that large governments and powerful states define socialism. Figures such as Ben Shapiro help perpetuate this myth, such as in one debate with a college student where he says, if there is no government crampdown, it's not socialist, and if there is free association between individuals, it is capitalist. This is mainly a product of Cold War propaganda during the Red Scare. In reality, leftist ideas are radically libertarian. Left-wing movements have historically valued the abolition of monarchy, the promotion of democracy, and now the empowerment of the working class to break their chains of oppression. As for the idea that powerful states are socialistic, I'll read a quote from Lenin's State and Revolution. According to Marx, the state is an organ of class domination, an organ of oppression of one class by another. It legalizes and perpetuates this oppression by moderating the collision between the classes. This is the reason leftists are anti-government and anti-police. We understand the state is a tool of capital that works to dominate the working class. I hope you now have a better understanding of what socialism is and is not. Thank you for watching. You're all beautiful and amazing. This was Garbu, and I'll see you next video.